What's up, everybody? So, I'm gonna show you guys, or tell you guys about my college bowling career and some cool insights that I had, and some experiences I shared. So, I hit up Facebook to see some questions you guys might want me to answer, and here's a couple of them that I took off. You'll have to bear with me, it's a bit of a long list. So, one of the first questions I got asked, what was the difference that I noticed between high school bowling and college bowling? The biggest difference that I noticed was the intensity of the competition. In high school bowling, yeah, it was fairly intense, but college bowling is way more intense. There's a lot more, I guess, school spirit behind it, and it's a lot longer. It's a lot more grueling, and I think that's what makes people more serious about it. They take it more seriously because a lot of effort goes into a college tournament. You know, a dinky little high school match it only lasts a couple hours. A college bowling tournament that's a couple days. From getting on the bus to traveling to coming back, and then having to wake up, at like 6 a.m. for classes when you got off the bus at 4 a.m. that morning, that's college bowling, and that's why people will take it more seriously, because it's hard. So, something in college bowling was the noise level. People want to know about the noise level. That was a crazy factor. There were parents trying to mess us up. There were coaches trying to mess us up. There were, you hear every little peep and word that's going on between parents and everything because they're in the settee area, maybe like 5 feet away from us while we're trying to bowl. You got teams cheering, and there's really not much of any kind of lane courtesy. And to be honest, if you're getting upset by like small noises while you're at league, or you're disturbed like real easily, college bowling, you're not gonna make it very good. Super loud all the time, and really the only way to beat it is to join them. Just get loud yourself and just have a blast and enjoy yourself. Don't get caught up in the small stuff. And then that was my main technique for dealing with all the noise. And can't beat them, join them. Question number 3. So, why'd I choose the college that I chose, and what does versatility do for you in college bowling? So, I chose Lindenwood University, where I got my human resource management degree, and I chose it because when I went and visited there, Ronnie Fujita and Kyle Sherman and a couple other boys, they picked me up and they treated me very well. I felt like a part of the team, and I felt like a part of the gang, and that was something that meant a lot to me because I'm going to be spending a ton of time with these people, and they gotta like me and I gotta like them. And throughout my 4 years of college bowling, yeah, there are ups and there's downs. You become more of a family. You're able to actually get angry at somebody and really tell them your mind because you've been around them for so long. But you take your blows here and there. But I mean, it's a great time in college bowling. You develop a family more than you are just a team. And if you don't feel like you're with a family at the college you're at the wrong college. So that's my input on it. So, question 4. Oh, let me get back to the versatility part. So, versatility in college bowling, what it did for me was it allowed me to stay competitive because you had to be able to play all the parts in the lane. Now, during qualifying, it was mainly just the lanes got so dry, and if you're good at playing left, you're going to do well. So, but the next day is where the versatility comes in. On Sunday, when you come in for Baker, the lanes, all of a sudden they don't hook as much. You have to play a little bit straighter. You have to be able to change your ball speeds to be able to match up. And that's a huge advantage between being versatile and not versatile. So, question number 5. What I enjoyed and what I didn't about college bowling. What I enjoyed was traveling, going places. I thought it was awesome. I felt, for once in my life, that I felt like bowling was serious. Like, you have the NBA guys. They're traveling constantly, putting everything they have in all the other professional sports. But, like, bowling is just one thing, a little bit on the weekend, just a one-day event. But with college bowling, all of a sudden it becomes months of competitions and getting on the road with 20 of your buds and going at it as a team. So something that's a little different, between singles events and college bowling for me was the kind of like what you're footing the bill for. College bowling, it's all free. You know, school pays for everything. Most colleges. So for me, it's like when I go to these tournaments, like a singles event, a PBA regional, I show up, I spend my own money. If I don't perform, I don't get paid. Now, it's not all about the money, but it helps to cash every now and then so you can keep on bowling. And the biggest difference for me is you're bowling for yourself in singles events and you're bowling for somebody else in college bowling. So for me, that was difficult because I'm just naturally a singles player, and when you're bowling in a team aspect, sometimes you don't always play the lanes the way you feel like playing them. You know, you got to go with what the team's going to do, whether it's going to affect your score in a negative way or a positive way. You just got to do what the team does, and that's like a huge. That's just a huge aspect that I see that's pretty different. So, how did my coach, like, was their teaching style match up with me or not? I would say at first, no. Anybody who tries to coach me in that kind of aspect, you're gonna have a hard time. Like, I'm somebody, like, when it comes to a player to coach perspective, like, you have to develop a relationship with me, and then I can start working, like, more efficiently, as I would say. But Randy Lightfoot was my coach in college bowling, and he did a lot for me in my game. He coached me a lot mentally. He was a great mentor on bowling, but he was an even better mentor on life and how to handle your struggles and how to handle your losses. And that was one thing that made me that much better. I became more of a man. Thank you, Randy Lightfoot. So, yeah, now as far as going and developing for your game and stuff, yes, college bowling gets you in there, puts in the practice, but regardless, you have to put in hours of practice to be good in general. So, college bowling definitely helped my mental game more than my physical game, although my physical game did progress through series of tournaments and seeing the differences in environments and just knowing more overall. So, number 7. What is the difference between physical and mental preparation for a league and for a tournament play? So that one's not quite as much geared towards college bowling, but I would say that my mindset from practicing for college bowling and actually in college bowling was much different. I was a little more serious when it was time for the tournament, but for practicing, I don't care about how I do as much. I just practiced the things that I need to be able to do to perform during the events. My mental preparation and mindset and stuff like that, I make sure to get hydrated, I make sure to eat well, I make sure to give myself the energy to do well and just have confidence in myself. So number 8, some team bowling insights. That was not easy for me to transition into. When I first went into college bowling, I was kind of all about myself and just bowling. I didn't really understand how to do a team bowling. I didn't really understand what it was even like. So, naturally, I wasn't very good at it. But I quickly realized that in team bowling, it's about going with the group and like what's best for the group and not necessarily what's best about your ball reaction or what you're feeling. It's putting your own feelings aside and going out there and enjoying bowling with your teammates. So sometimes that doesn't always equate to what you may think it does. So that's one thing to keep in mind about being a successful team player. So how was I influenced by events that weren't college bowling and events that were college bowling? I would say the events in college bowling, if I bowled bad, it didn't really bother me as much, and I would learn a little bit from it. But my more serious events that were outside of college bowling, like the PBA regionals, when I would go to a tournament and not cash, that would have way more of an impact on me than going to a college event and not making the all tournament team. Just because there's really zero consequences to bowling bad in college bowling. There are consequences to bowling bad when you just go to a tournament yourself. There's money at risk, there's time at risk, and then other things like that. So I personally, prefer to do individual events and team events, like outside of college bowling. So that's just my take on it. I'm just really competitive and like the kind of day-to-day spirit of it. So another huge little position change here. Figure we keep it exciting because I just don't want to bore you with all my silly talking and whatnot. So another huge thing about college bowling in my career and what excelled me to do even better was learning from the people around me. I met so many different people from so many different areas, which opened my eyes up to so many different possibilities with the game and how people thought about it. And a lot of the time, they really influenced me in a positive way. They showed me what not to do and what to do. A great example of that is my boy Jesse Mapp from St. Louis. Came up to me one day in practice, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I got this black hammer," and he's showed me what the axis leverage drilling was. And that's super, like, it's been a staple in my game. Like, when I came back from college, I've won about 7 tournaments now on short patterns with just the black hammer alone, never ball changing, and it has the axis leverage layout on it, and like I just knock them dead with what I learned from him. So I think that's pretty awesome. That's just an example of tons of them that I learned from college bowling and the people that allowed me to meet. So a big question some of the other guys have is, how do I handle academics? How do I handle the crazy regimen of working out and being in the gym, being in the bowling alley and practicing and getting everything that you have to do and still getting high grades with all the deadlines of school? So what I did was I just put myself on a schedule. Now, it's easier said than done. So, it was crazy. I got up at like 6, 7 in the morning, went to class, then practiced, then worked out at the end of the day when I was already exhausted, and it took a lot out of me. I didn't really stay up too late, when it came to tournaments and stuff like that, to make sure I'd get all my energy and whatnot, but yeah, you just got to know how to grind, and you just got to learn how to sleep faster, because it is an amazingly busy schedule. So, my best tip from what I did was I tried not to stress out, and I just gave myself enough time for the things that were most important, like practice, working out, eating right, getting enough sleep, getting my homework done, doing all that stuff. And once I got that done, then I would play. Then I would go out and have some fun. I'd kick it with the boys and, the good stuff of college. So, the last couple questions that I got on my Facebook status were, how does college bowling play as far as, the different angles and stuff that you need to play when you're going across all the different patterns, and what I've done to transition from college bowling into the PBA. It's only been a couple months since I've been out of college bowling, and I've won my first PBA regional. So I'd say that I've been fairly successful with my transitioning so far. One thing that really made me good in a quick transition was I didn't really think of it as college bowling or PBA bowling or other events. I just saw I just listened to the lane and what the lane tells me. So when I go to different events, it's a different event. It's nothing other than that. It doesn't mean more than any other event. So what I do is I just try to listen to what the lanes are telling me to do and match up my equipment best as possible. You have to be versatile to do that, and you have to have a sharp pair of eyes to really be able to see what's going on with the lanes. So something that made me, a good transition was just still trying to learn every single time with bowling and, trying to get, a little bit better, go to the next level. So some differences that I've seen so far with how the lanes play in college bowling are actually somewhat similar. On the first day, everybody usually plays a little bit further left, but always has a lot of surface in their hands, and there's just traffic going which way everywhere. So you end up having to get really far left, in front of the bar, turn, and just hook the ball the whole day. And then when you come in the next day, the lanes are always a lot tighter, there's not as much traffic, the heads are a little bit cleaner, stuff's starting to back end a little more, and it plays a lot flatter. And you have to, be smart enough to know that, hey, the lanes aren't going to be the same every single day. So you just have to come in there with a different game plan and be willing to do whatever it takes. And so that's my college bowling career in a nutshell. So if you guys have any other questions you guys want me to answer, or any other topics that you want me to go over, hit me up. Like my Facebook or YouTube channel and hit subscribe.